everybody, it's me, Cassie, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the second installment in the Spellcaster series, which is Steadfast. What? This series is by Claudia, and once again, I apologize for not having a review for the first book. It's one of the books I read over this summer. I am really sorry. But what happened, to give you guys some prior knowledge before I really start discussing the book, in the first book, Nadia and her family. Nadia is the main character. They moved to this little Rhode Island town called Captive Sound, and there she finds a lot of dark magic surrounding this town, and she figured out this dark magic is coming from this sorceress named Elizabeth, and what a sorceress means is a witch who swore herself down to the one beneath. And by the one beneath, I don't mean Hades. Love Percy Jackson, but this isn't Percy Jackson right now. But religious terms, one beneath, if you know what I'm getting at. But I'm not going to say it because I don't want to, and technically they basically mainly refer to him as the one beneath in the book, so that is what I'm going to do. And so Nadia has to try and thwart Elizabeth's plans, which she is pretty sure that she's set on destroying Captive Sound. And so Nadia will try to thwart Elizabeth's plan. But along the way, she meets this guy named Mateo. And Mateo, he has had this curse on his family for generations. And what this curse does is that it allows people in his family to see the future. And a lot of times when people do see the future, they go a little cuckoo in the head. So that's what's been happening to his entire family for generations. They see the future and they go crazy, and when he meets Nadia, he meets her by going to a place where his future visions predicted, and when he figures out it's true, he starts really believing in his curse, and he's cursed, and he's like, oh crap, I'm going crazy. This is just great. My life, wonderful. I'll just deal with it. But he walks into Nadia doing witchcraft, and that makes him her Steadfast. And a Steadfast is a person who can make a witch's power stronger when they're near. And so when that happens, that basically defies everything that the craft has been set on, because you can't tell men, and men can't possess magic. Oh, and also you can't swear yourself to the one beneath. Very fun. So yeah, and turns out that they figured out that he can be a Steadfast because of the way he was created. I guess he was created in a lab or something. But that, since he's not truly a man in witchcraft terms, that enables him to be a Steadfast, which is really interesting. But meanwhile, Nadia and Mateo are getting really closer together, and eventually they form a relationship, and it's very fun. And also along the way to thwarting Elizabeth's plan, they meet this girl named Valerine, and Valerine is an amazing character. She is just so ready to help Nadia and everything. She's just like, oh, I've always suspected something weird, and now I'm going to get the inside scoop because she's a journalist. Granted, she can't really publish what's going on, but still, she's very excited. And she just there's some sort of magic happening to her. And the magic came from everybody's favorite sorceress, Elizabeth. But it just makes her something happen, and Nadia is not exactly sure why, but on a completely different note, not really, Valerian, she can't, like, people aren't really appreciating, like, who she really is, a loyal, an amazing person. Like, it's not like one of those times where they're just ignored, and she seriously cannot get recognized for the things she does, even to Nadia and Mateo and everybody. So yeah, like, Valerian is struggling through that, but she's still powering through. She's just like, okay, nobody really likes me, but hey, still gonna love this world, yeah. Not like it's a tree hugger, but just like loving the world, like loving her life, how it's going despite the downs. But anyway, in the end of the book, Nadia thinks she's successfully thwarted all of Elizabeth's plan, but she only thwarted some of it. I mean, granted, it kind of helped Elizabeth, but not really. It thwarted some of her plans. But since Elizabeth's plans are still going, in this book, Nadia still has to thwart Elizabeth's plans, as Elizabeth's plans keep on growing, and her plan, by the way, is to bring the One Beneath into the Earth plane and allow him to create another version of his realm on Earth. So, yeah, very fun. Just what you expect, a normal everyday apocalypse. Just thinking about the apocalypse I've been watching. But anyway, yeah, and along the way she's also trying to help with Nadia. Yes, trying to help with Nadia's trying to help. Very good, Cassie. I'm very good at language today. My words today. And so, along the way, along with thwarting Elizabeth's plans, Nadia is trying to figure out solutions to Mateo's and Valerian's situations. And she's trying, and basically in this book, it's all about her trying so hard. But we also get introduced to this new character named Asa, and Asa is a demon, and he has to help Elizabeth because he's sworn to the One Beneath, and she's also sworn to the One Beneath, and he just has to. He doesn't really want to, but he has to. Part of the job description. But anyway, yeah, they get introduced to this new character named Asa, and he creates more problems by driving them apart, because what else are they supposed to do? Because grouping together equals strength, and Elizabeth doesn't want strength. But anyway, this book is just about Nadia's trying so hard. But anyway, sorry if that gave away some spoilers, because first version I had was written by my brother, but anyway, I'm doing this again. Very fun, because I love y'all. And so, speaking of spoilers, guess what time it is? Guess what time it is? It's spoiler time! What? Spoilers! Oh, spoilers! Oh, spoilers! If you haven't already left, please do, unless you're a weirdo like me. I love y'all weirdos. So anyway, before I actually review a few things that I thought were interesting, we're gonna discuss my theories I have in this book. My first theory is that Nadia's dad knows more than he's letting on. During the scene where the crows crash Cole's play, Nadia's dad is just like, he thinks, oh, there's definitely more at play here. And so when I read that, I was just like, oh, he knows more about the craft than he's letting on. His mother must have told him and just like to pass it on, I guess. Maybe. And it was just like, as I said, it's a theory, but I'm just like, I feel like he knows more than he does. But as of now, I have read the 3rd book. See this lovely little thing right here. And turns out he didn't really know about the craft, so it's just like, oh, boo theory. But it was a really interesting theory. I'm just like, he knows more than the craft. And if you guys agree with me, please tell me. And then another little theory that I had that's also really important is when there was this one scene where Nadia and Mateo were kissing, and it like panned away from focusing on them to just like focusing on the weather outside, and it said like the weather is kind of going crazy, and then there was more at play. There was like natural forces they didn't know was happening, that they didn't know that they didn't really know about. And so when I read that, I was just like, oh, no, it's Gemma all over again. No. And what I mean by Gemma is that when like 2 people are bound together, Gemma is a ship in another book I've read called Lady Midnight, which is a Cassandra Clare book. Highly recommend you read any of the Cassandra Clare books. Ooh, Cassandra Clare, amazing. But anyway, back to this book. Woo! By Gemma, I just mean 2 people who are bound together, but there are laws preventing them from being together because it messes with the bond. It makes it too powerful. And so it's just like, oh no, that's happening. It's happening again. Why? But as I said, I've read the 3rd book, and turns out that doesn't really happen. But I thought it was really interesting, and I was really scared there for a moment, because I was just like, no. I actually kind of think they're a cute couple. I mean, they're not my favorite couple, but they're cute. And so I was really worried that was going to happen, but it didn't. And I was mainly just worried because I didn't want to go through that stress again. Still going through that stress. But, yeah, I thought that was a really interesting theory. And then I have 2 more theories. I have one really big one and then a really small one. The really big one is about coal. So in this book we find out that mixing 2 bloodlines of witches is very bad, because the female, she becomes a perfect mold for the one beneath to like she's made perfect for dark magic, and that is Nadia, because it turns out her father's side was also a witch and her mother was a witch, so combining the 2 bloodlines created her into that. More to come later. But I was just like, what about the male? What happens to the males? Cole's nightmares are mentioned constantly in these books, and it's said that they didn't really start happening until like after Nadia's mother left. And I was just like, I was wondering if Nadia's mother just like cast a spell on Cole so he could like be able to sleep okay, because his dreams, he was having dreams about the craft. And I was just like, oh, I'm just like, he can possess magic. It has to be. And I was just like, eek. And then, like, it didn't really build on it. And it's just like, it would have been really interesting if Claudia Gray did. But it didn't really build on it. I mean, come on. Think about how interesting that would be, like, combining the bloodlines. And creating a man who, like, he may not know about, but he has dreams about the craft, and he possesses some sort of magic. I thought that would have been really, really, really interesting, and it was just like, ooh, that would be awesome if she expanded on that idea. I mean, granted, it was just a theory I came up with, but don't you guys agree? You can totally see it. I was just like, ooh, interesting. And so that was my last really big theory. And then it was just like this little theory I had. It was just a small suspicion. It was about like Faye Walsh. I was just like, when I was reading it, I'm just like, oh, she must know something about the craft. Is she a witch? But then like when that one scene where she was just taking a picture of Elizabeth's dark magic working, she was just like, I need to take pictures of evidence of witchcraft. And so it's just like, is she some sort of witch police? And I was just like, oh, that would be interesting, witch police. Just like, how does that work? Because Elizabeth's been there for a really long time, and just like, what's happening? But then turns out Faye Walsh is just, she was a Steadfast for her mother who was a witch, and so, yeah, that was answered really quickly. But anyway, so I want to talk about Nadia's mother, the sacrifice she made. Oh my gosh, it just shows how much she would do for her daughter. I mean, her sacrifice didn't really work out that well, but still, that sacrifice was it's just amazing like when you see stuff parents will do for their children. It's just amazing. She gave up her ability to love to keep her safe from the one beneath. It's just like, wow, talk about sacrifices. Like, there were some sacrifices I've read about, but that I was just like, wow, I'm just like, wow, that really hits here. Just like, yeah. Oh. And then I forgot another theory I had was that there were a lot more witches in Captive Sound than anybody really knew about. Like, the scene where crows invaded Cole's play. And just like, the mother was just, a random mother was just like, oh, there's more at play here. Just like, and she was like, we need to do something. And Nadia's dad was like, yeah. And so it's just like, is she a witch? Are there more witches happening? Are there more witches in this town than anybody knows about? How many witches are in this story? But no, they're mortals. Oh, mortals. But anyway, that's it. That's it for theories, but now I just wanted to discuss about something really important. I want to talk about Nadia and her swearing herself to the one beneath. Like, as you know me, I am a weirdo, and I looked at the synopsis for the third book before I read this book, and I was just like, I saw Nadia swore herself to the one beneath, and it was like, I threw the book across the room, and I was like, no, what happened? Don't you people know you don't say yes to people who are down below? Like, haven't you people ever heard of Luke Castellan? Don't you learn? Whew. Anyway, I was just like, oh, what happens? And then I'm just like, as I was reading this, I'm just like, does she really actually swear herself to the one beneath? I'm just like, or is it just like an apprentice? Where, Nadia's just faking it? And I didn't really think she was actually had to swear herself. And I was just like, when that came out, I was just like, oh, shock here. Yeah. And then, yeah. And as I was reading it, I kind of thought that Nadia would actually, like, turn evil and actually, like, willingly do it. But no, she had to do it to save herself, like, save everybody. And it's just like, oh, okay, I guess that's better than her turning evil. But like when I still thought she was just faking swearing to the one beneath. I mean, truly, she never really cared for the one beneath. I didn't really want to do his bidding. But I was just like, I read the little like sneak peek on the third book, and it was just like Elizabeth smiled upon hearing her, like almost as if she heard Nadia's thoughts, and it was just like, oh, can Elizabeth read Nadia's mind since they're apprentices, and it must be like some sort of bond or something. And so it was just like, I was just like, ooh. Just like, how is she supposed to keep her plans a secret if Elizabeth can read her mind? And so it's like, ooh, interesting. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was really interesting how it went down with Nadia swore herself to the one beneath. I thought that was really interesting. And then the one thing that I didn't really like about this book is that when I was like in the beginning, I hadn't read this series for a while, so when I did pick it up, I was just like, wow, this series is really, really jumpy. Yeah, like it would just like jump from like one point of view at one time to a different point of view at a different time, and I thought that was very jumpy, and that's one thing I didn't really like, but otherwise, it was a really good book. I suggest you read it. And so, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, comment what you guys think. Comment if you have anything you want me to discuss. I am always open to those. Please, if you do, I would appreciate it. Because I'm just like, then I know somebody's out there watching it. Then I would feel really cool. Although I already think I am cool, but... yeah, tell me what you guys think. Hope you guys are having a good day. See you around.